Are we there yet? Yay! Hi. I'm tempted to sing the Yay song. My kids and I have a Yay song. It goes, Yay, 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 yay. I'm singing the Yay song. And honestly, on my win here, yay. Okay, I can see you. You can see me. I'm going to mute myself on this one. Hi. Can you say hey in the comments if you're here? I'll just take a deep breath. That was a big school run. It was much more significant than I thought it was going to be when I headed out the door. The song in my heart, to be honest, I was going to say a minute ago, is Mama said there'd be days like these. There will be days like these. My mama said. That's what I was thinking when I got here. Hey, Kipsy, why don't you have a seat? Today, we're going to start doing the steps that we talked about yesterday. The steps we're talking about are how to go from exhausted, anxious, a little bit overwhelmed, tense, insecure, to present in your relationships, relaxed, in order, peaceful, clear, and going to sleep every night knowing that you said and did what you're proud of with your kids and with your partner. I don't actually need these to see, by the way. They're like blue light glasses, and I gotta discipline myself because I look at the computer a lot. Lynn, hello! Hi! Live chat. I don't know why I can't see all of the chat like while it happens, but I'm trying. So here's the steps. Remember what we talked about yesterday. The steps are let go, let love in, live, let the people in, and then lead like Christ. And we're on step 1, let go. And today is going to be inspiring and practical, and it might be a gut check for many of us. I know that when I got this, like when I really got it, when my mentor finally said it in a way that unlocked it for me, this is when everything changed. Good morning. If you're some of those 4 eyes, there's 4 eyes on the live right now. I would love to hear you say hi because I want to know who's here. And I'm going to tell you again, the more you engage in the chat and in your comments after these talks, the more I can tailor them to you. So I love that. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about letting go, and it's going to be on a level you might not have considered before. We're going to talk about the difference between loving somebody and doing their responsibility for them, which is the unlocking of all the things. This is where boundaries begin. This is the foundation of boundaries. Boundaries are not rules we make for other people that they can step over. No one can break your boundaries. Boundaries are agreements that you make with you, and it starts with knowing what is exactly your responsibility and your priority at each given moment, okay? Hi, Rachel. Hello, Katrina. Good morning. Yay. Kipsy, if you will listen to me, you can have a mega treat. I want you to come right over here and sit down. Come on. Kipsy is the brave dog from Brave Dogs Academy. Sit down, Kips. And her food ran out, so she gets to have my leftover yogurt until I get to the pet store. Kipsy, no. Come here, sit. Come on, let's go. Come. Here. Sit. Down. Thank you. Okay. All right, let's jump into this. I want to tell you a story. I remember laying awake at night as a mom of a couple of young kids, thinking about the future. I was thinking about how time was going by so fast, and I had this replay in my mind of the day. My son having a snack at the table, my daughter watercoloring for an hour because she's like a genius artist. I already could tell at 12 months old. She would watercolor for 30 minutes at 12 months old, uninterrupted. I thought about making peanut butter and jelly, and I thought about taking our walk that we took after our lunch before our nap. I thought about the nap battle, and I kind of laid in bed that night having a replay of our day. And this panic came over me that I was missing it. I was not encountering their childhood the way that I wanted to. I wanted them to enjoy the day and be sweet and be easy. I wanted enough energy. But really, I wanted to be present for their childhood, and I wasn't. I was exhausted, I was anxious, and I was scrolling in the cracks of my day. And I didn't know how to stop putting all the fires out and let go and enjoy them. Until years and years later, I had walked them through not one but 2 divorces, y'all, and began to recognize that the whole time I was trying to do for them something that I could not do, which is to prove to them how loved they are and to manage their feelings for them so that they had a childhood that they enjoyed, and to get obedience and listening out of them and form character in them, and that none of that was mine to do. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I had a wake-up call. And it worked on me, the wake-up call, because if I needed them to know who they are, and I needed them to feel safe and secure, and I needed them to believe my love for them, and I needed them to trust me, and I needed them to feel okay, and I needed a bunch of stuff that was going on the inside of them, I wasn't going to make it because I had blown it so big. I had broken their trust. I had broken their family more than once, y'all. And I was telling them about who Jesus is the whole time. So now, not only had I broken their trust with me, but their trust with the Lord is what I thought. And I did not know where to even begin proving to them that I was there for them, that I loved them, and that they mattered. And when I let go of what's going on inside of them, and I managed really well what was going on inside of me, not only did our home become peaceful, and they followed my lead, and they listened almost effortlessly, but I also was set free to be present in their childhood. Their childhood. It's not my childhood. Do you know what I'm talking about? So, what we're talking about today is something I like to call mine, not mine. And it's going to take you out of the hurricane of identifying with others in an unhealthy way. Somebody say, in an unhealthy way. It's good to identify with others in a healthy way, which means you can understand and experience that they are having that you are not having. That is a healthy way to identify with others. But identifying with others in an unhealthy way is that when their feelings aren't better, your feelings aren't better. When they're not okay, you're not okay. If they're not happy with you, you're not happy with you. If someone's mad about your behavior, you're also embarrassed about your behavior. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, we drew this a little bit the other day, but I'm going to draw it on steroids, okay? Here's you in the middle of your life, and here's you identifying yourself in others, the way they feel, what they believe about you, what they believe about themselves, whether they do or don't do something. And here's what begins to happen. I'm going to draw something for you that I hope sticks in your mind. They need a snack. They throw a tantrum. They need a nap they won't take. Your husband is mad that the home is chaotic. Dinner's not ready yet. The song on the radio makes somebody cry. The song on the radio makes somebody try to get your attention. You need to go help your son feel not powerless. You need to convince your husband he's not a failure. You need to have sex with him so he still likes you. You need to call back your mother-in-law because she has so many questions about the upcoming event that you're not even hosting. And your life becomes a hurricane. This is why you're exhausted. You caught wind that your boss needs to talk to you about something, so you go talk to him first because you're really worried about it. Your best friend said, hey, can we chat? I have something I want to share with you, and you panic. This is your hurricane. Your husband wants you to love being a stay-at-home mom, but you're struggling with depression because you don't have anything going on that's just for you. You aren't hydrated, you aren't exercising regularly, you don't know what books to read, and when you finally get alone time, you don't know what to do with it because it's so high stakes. It's the only 5 minutes you feel like you're going to have all week. The hurricane. For example, your daughter won't go into class and she's going to throw a royal fit. When you are connected to what's going on in an unhealthy way, you are swirling inside. This is why there's no energy. This is why it feels like there's no time. This is why road trips sitting next to hubby for 8 hours are not relaxing and loving, but they're tense and a little bit scary. This is why holidays feel like a pending fight. Okay? Things are high stakes because whether you're okay is based on something else in the people around you. I know that we've talked about this at length, but I just can't say it enough. I wanted you to have the picture of this hurricane. You can picture everything around you is moving so fast. At this point, I had 2 kids when I was reviewing my day, laying awake in bed thinking I am not present for their childhood. And it's killing me. I'm going to say something to you. I became present for their childhood at their ages 10, 8, and 4. Which means I missed the brain developmental part, like the solidifying who they are, their emotional blueprint. That happens from 0 to 4 for all of them. Rowie, I really caught more of, the youngest, because I kind of learned most of this through her labor and birth and doing it different the 3rd time. Definitely for the first 2, I was feeling this, living in this, distracted from their childhood until they were 10 and 8 years old. That is a loss that is not going away. And it is my heart for you, if you're a mama, or if you need repair in your relationships with adult children, or if you need healing in your marriage, that you do not have not another week goes by that you aren't really there for it. Whew, that feels heavy. It's big stuff, yeah? Are you ready to learn the skills? First, what you're going to do, the first thing that's going to happen is there's going to be an eye to this storm. That's what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel like, okay, I've carved out an eye, but the storm is still going on all around me. And then when you start to have more influence, somebody say influence. Oh, somebody say influence. Then when you start to have influence, your children and your marriage is not going to be a storm anymore. It's not going to be like you hiding in the eye of a storm from everything crazy going on outside you. It's going to be like peace in your whole house. How many of you know if the kingdom is going to come to the world through you, it's going to start in your family? It's going to start in your family. It's going to start in your room. It's going to start in your kitchen. It's going to start in your living room. And then God's going to expand it out from there. He's going to give you more to influence. Influence is the word we're talking about right now. Thank you for saying influence in the chat. I see you. Oh, my son, my dear son, borrowed my computer last night to play instruments on it, and the charger's out there. I'm going to go grab it so we don't lose our feed here. We will talk about sowing and reaping another day, but when my computer charger doesn't come back with my computer didn't come back this morning either. It lives here for a while after that. It's not going to leave for a while. Just so we all know what's going to happen with that son and the computer story. Okay, influence. As a Christian wife and a Christian mom, I did not think that I was born for influence. Does anybody relate to that as a woman? I thought that men were called to influence the church, and women should be quiet and follow their lead. And that if I had a voice or if I made an impact, I was breaking the box of following Jesus. And so that wasn't going to work for me. I'm here to tell you that it is biblical and holy to have an influence as a woman. That was just a side note nugget. Okay, today we're talking about what's mine and what's not mine. This is step one, let go, okay? I want you to imagine that the life that God gave you, your soul, is a garden bed. And the family that he gave you might all be in the same courtyard, but each person is their own garden bed. And God gave you the job of managing your soul. Like when he said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. He said, above all, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. And when he said, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. And Paul talks about the weapons of our warfare are not carnal in nature, but they are spiritual and effective to tear down every stronghold, which is a piece of information that holds itself up against the knowledge of Jesus. Your soul is yours to manage. Your soul is yours to manage. So I want you to picture a garden bed. Your soul, a garden bed. And your child's soul, a garden bed. And your husband's soul, a garden bed. And your friend's soul, a garden bed. And your boss's soul, a garden bed. And you are the one called to tend to your bed, your soul. Let's make it the big one because we're going to draw some things in it. In your garden bed are beliefs, feelings, thoughts, and actions. Your actions come from your feelings. Your feelings occur because you have a thought. And your thoughts are born because of what you believe. And what you believe comes from things that you have experienced. We all on that train? Your actions come from how you feel. Your feelings are chemicals in your body that come from what you think. What you think comes from what you truly believe. And what you really believe doesn't come from what you've learned, it comes from what you've experienced. And the younger you were when you experienced something, the deeper the belief, the more firm it is, okay? That's what's in your garden bed. And lies and negative emotions and false thoughts and false beliefs crop up like weeds. Which one was the big one that I was, okay, this like, looks so different on the screen as it does. These are yucky, spiky, icky, mickey weeds. Okay? Now, your husband's heart might also be full of weeds. Blech. Growing out, they're a mess. He's a mess. Your child's heart might have a few. They also might have some really good things growing because you are a good parent. You love them. But there's some weeds there. Stuff like, I'm just so stupid. Or stuff like not listening. Eye rolling. Anybody got eye rolling going on? Okay. Weeds, yeah? Okay. God's design for you is that you, I can't see which one I'm pointing at, would bear fruit. Which means a lot of things have to happen. First, the weeds have to get all pulled out. Weeds out. First, you got to pull all them weeds. And I made it look really fast and easy. How many of you know it's not all that fast and easy to pull out all the weeds, but you can do it. You pull out the lies, okay? Also, you need to plant, you need really good soil too. That takes something. You need really good soil in there. These arrows are telling you get good soil in there. Okay. Now you have a lot of fertilizer and some really rich nutrient, and you've been rotating crops for 4 years, and you have some good soil in here, okay? Then you need to learn about where to put different kinds of seeds. Some kinds need to be next to each other. These are different kinds. That's why I'm drawing them like this. Some kinds need to be spaced real tight in rows, and some kinds need their own big section. And these seeds are the truth. And then those seeds need water. They need water. Is that water? Can you see it? That's water from a hose. It's a fancy gardening hose. My grandpa had one like this when I was little. Had dots all over the back of it. the end. And they need sunlight. So you got to expose yourself to those things. And they constantly are going to have new weeds trying to grow that somebody needs to pull every day. How many of your gardeners? Every day you got to pull weeds. Every day. And as these things grow and they become fruitful, let's make some fruit. Maybe that's a strawberry. Let's grow some tomatoes down here on a vine. Those also need pruning. So you can see that your soul needs a lot of intentional effort. What I was doing in my old life was I was all over here up in my husband's brain, his garden, his day-to-day life. And I was like, homie, you got a weed right there. Do you see it? It's called I'm a failure. Can we pull that? Like, please, please, pretty please. Can you please examine how you believing you're a failure is sucking for everyone around you? Because it sucks. Homie, you have a bad attitude when you get home. Do you realize what kind of an impact that has on us? Please smile at me when you get home. Do you all know what I'm talking about? For the love of God, please pull that weed. I see who you could be. I know you could grow tomatoes, strawberries. I don't even know what kind of fruit and trees are going to come out of your garden. Please, let's get on that. Did you know, though, that while I was over here in hubby's garden pulling his weeds and trying to manage his seeds, nobody was in mine? You only get one. And so weeds were growing in mine, and mold was happening there, and the soil was not becoming productive, and the things that were growing that were good, they weren't getting pruned. I didn't have sunlight and water. There was no diligence in my garden because you only get to be in one at a time, and God gave you you. When I was a Christian young mom and wife, I thought that the fruit of self-control, the fruit of the Spirit, the last one listed is self-control. And that's funny because I actually think it's become my favorite. And I think it's the most important because every time I go back to it, the other ones just grow. But I thought that self-control meant that when I want to do something sinful and fleshy, that I wasn't going to do it. Somebody say self-control in the chat. Self-control. That's what I thought that meant. I'm going to control myself not to do something evil or tell a lie or hide my bad behavior. Self-control. I'm not going to get drunk. Self-control. I'm not going to go find somebody to sleep with. Self-control. I found out a lot later, it's what saved my life, that self-control means the meditations of my heart and the words that come out of my mouth and the actions that I take have everything to do with this in Christ and just about nothing to do with this. Or this, or this, or this. And that when I do this really, really well, I'm going to have fruit growing out of me like crazy. And the person who's in charge of this garden is going to want to know how I did that. And I'm going to tell you what, it works so fast on kids. I said this to you yesterday, but I hope it's becoming clearer. It works so good on children want their garden to look like your garden. We're going to talk about gardening again when we talk about boundaries. But I just want you to know when you invite them over to have a bite of tomato, they're like, wait, where did you get this? And you're like, oh, inside my own head and inside my own heart. And you can have that too. And they go, but how? Mine says I'm a loser. And you're going to know how to bring them to have a garden like this so that their life looks fruitful and wonderful and full of oxygen and peace and order. You know what I'm talking about? Self-control means I manage me. Now, I hear this question a lot, but Katie, I'm the discipler, the leader, the caregiver of these little kids, and that is 100% true. Part of my self-control is I manage me to support them. I have a responsibility with them to be a safe place, to be calm, to be consistent, to make them food, to keep their home clean, to give them activities to do and provide an education for them. How many of you know if my garden bed looks like this, I am not going to be doing that for them? It's a lost cause. I must get what I need. Take a bath, read a book, have a nap. I need to know what I'm going to do next and say it confidently. And these other people are going to wonder where that fruit came from, okay? We're talking about self-control. We play a game in Brave Moms Academy called Mine, Not Mine, where we sort conversations and situations for the piece that is mine and the piece that is not mine. And I'm telling you what, when a woman masters this one thing, the whole game is almost won. And we come back to it over and over and over again. We have 12 steps we work through in Brave Moms Academy with journal prompts and vulnerable sharing with each other and getting expert advice, picking apart what's going on, and retraining so we can be a present influence in our family, enjoy and delight in them, and influence it for good. We got 12 steps, and we always come back to what is yours and what is not yours. I want to challenge you today to start asking yourself, which part of this situation is mine? So, for example, I was in class today until it went overtime. It was supposed to end at 8 o'clock. My plan was to wake my children up at 8 o'clock and get them ready for school and pack their lunches and make their breakfast and leave here at 8:45. So I could be home by 9:10 to do this talk today. But the class I was in went overtime, and we wound up in an incredible conversation in a coaching room that I'm in, receiving until 8:23. And my heart was on fire, and I was so thrilled about what my trainer was training me about, and my question came up at the end, and I got some clarity on some stuff. And so I did not wake them up until 8:26 or 27. So they had less than 20 minutes to wake up, get out of bed. They were so tired, I guess. Wake up, get out of bed, get dressed, eat the breakfast I gave them, put their lunch in their backpack, put their shoes on, and get in the car. And let me tell you, my little one did not tolerate that very well. So she had a massive meltdown on the way into class. What's mine? Not waking them up on time. What is hers? Choosing to continue to scream and yell when she felt icky about going to class because she was not ready. She did not feel mentally, emotionally, or physically prepared. What's mine? I did not yell at her. What's mine? I didn't grab her hand and drag her in there. What's mine? Stay calm, stay cool, keep telling her what we're going to do, follow through with what I said was going to happen. What's hers? Banging on the door of the school after I walked away. Ouch. What's hers? Calming down and getting to class because her teacher called her in and she was going to listen to her teacher, probably because she was embarrassed about crying. What's hers? Embarrassed about crying. What's hers? Feeling abandoned and neglected. What's mine? Loving her no matter what. Are you seeing the power of this? If her feeling abandoned and neglected becomes mine, my word to her that today she's going to school, because we've had a little history right here with this thing this year. Today I told her yesterday, we are going to school tomorrow. It's a co-op. It's not actually necessary, but we make a decision as a team each week if they're going or not. This was a going week. If I change my mind because I take on she feels abandoned and neglected and I need to make sure she doesn't, I'm going to go back on my word, not send her to school, and I have broken trust that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. That is mine. Do you see how if I make something that's not mine, I will forsake and fail at what is mine? Every time you run this exercise, you can find the places. I know I'm engaged in something that isn't mine when it causes me to break consistency or alignment with what is mine. So this has a lot to do with knowing, I'm going to say it for all 30 days, exactly who you are and what you're here to do. Now, I hope that she and I get to talk later about how she felt this morning. And I hope she'll tell me what was in her head, because I don't know if it was actually abandoned and neglected. I made that up. I want to know what is hers. And what's mine will be to ask her great questions and to listen really well while she unpacks how she felt today and what's true and what's not true. My job is to help her walk through the same healing that I've walked through, which is that I know that what I do and say come from how I feel, and those come from what I think, and those come from what I believe. And I can walk her through that by listening to her and being a safe place. That's my job as her mom, to help her discover who she is and what she's here to do. I can't install them. I can't prove it to her. I can't make it happen. But I can be here for her only because I've managed what is mine, so I'm available for it. That's the fruit. Are y'all getting what I'm saying? Somebody say fruit. The fruit is I get to be there for her to go down this same road. Unless I take on her stuff, then guess what? Canceled. How many of you know I'd be frustrated, resentful, feeling a little bit blamey, not getting enough stuff done today, distracted later after school hours because I'm catching up on what I needed to do while she was gone, feeling guilty, mentally exhausted, running over and ruminating over the situation all day. Do you know what I'm saying? Somebody say fruit. The fruit is an available and present mom for her. That is mine to protect. Y'all getting what I'm talking about? This is the big one. This is the big one. Give me an emoji in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. That trying to fix what's going on inside of her actually removes me from being the person who can support and help her develop. Support her and help her develop, yeah? Okay. This is the big one. I would love to hear your takeaways in the daily, it's a daily activation post that says, tell me your takeaway from this and tell me your biggest challenge with this. I am hoping to compel you that that is the way to get the most out of this challenge. I rolled around some questions in my head about what's going to happen with this 30 days when it's gone. When it's over. And I think I'm going to I'm going to give you a gift. And the gift is this. When this 30 days is over, this challenge is going to go away. And the reason that is a gift for you is that without a timeline, humans, none of us, including me, don't get things done. We don't. So while it's here, make your posts. Tell me what you're thinking about so I can tune it to you. Okay? And I want to tell you something else that I thought about. I know in my Christianity, how many of you, this is true, I know that in my Christian walk, before I really healed on the inside into wholeness, that I heard a lot of people say wisdom, wise things. Somebody say wisdom. You can say it out loud or in the chat. So you say wisdom. I'd hear a preacher. Y'all, I was a wisdom addict. I turned on my earbuds every day in my life as a mom to hear wisdom. I needed wisdom. But what it did was it gave me fuzzy feelings, good chemicals in my brain. But the wisdom didn't sink down into my heart and change me from the inside out. That's not what happened. The reason that wisdom finally changed me from the inside out, I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. It was two elements that happened to me. I'm going to call wisdom like a seed, a truth seed. Let's stick with the garden today, okay? Wisdom is a seed of truth. Wisdom can make you feel better. It's very inspiring. God's on it. He loves it. You'll feel the Holy Spirit. God's on wisdom. He's on truth. It brought me hope and courage. I felt like I can go a little further when I heard wisdom, a seed, okay? But I'm going to tell you, when that seed got shoved in soil, took root in my heart, and I grew new things out of it, two things that made that happen. Number one, somebody stepped into my life on a day-to-day basis and saw the issues that were coming out of me and my kids and my husband, their dad, and identified based on listening to me talk and giving her the report. I'm telling you, every day for 6 months, I gave her the report of what was going on and all my thoughts about it and all my questions. And she could pull apart what's mine and what's not mine, where my boundaries are, what my priorities are supposed to be, who I am and where I'm going, what I'm here to do for 6 months. what to say and what not to say, what I must really believe about myself if this is what I'm saying and doing. Okay, that happened. The report. I daily gave somebody a report who was an expert because she has been where I want to go. Okay, a leader is someone who's gone ahead of you where you want to go. They have the map. I needed someone with a map, and I needed to report to them for me, I'll turn myself in every single day for 6 months. And then it was like every other day for 3 more. And then it was at least 3 times a week for 3 more. It was a long time. Okay. Number 2, I was extremely vulnerable with her because she was safe. She understood and she loved me no matter what. And that kind of vulnerability and being safe and seen and loved right where I was like the water that seed needed. That was the nutrient in the soil where it could grow. That was the warm sunlight that could turn into energy that could make a real change. I love you too much to tell you that getting inspired and excited by this information over the next 30 days is going to change your life. I think in Christianity, we have a bit of a knowledge problem, which is why I've hesitated to do this in the past, to be totally transparent with you, because I don't want you to get really excited and feel better during this 30 days and not transform your family to being a city on the hill from the inside out. I do not want that for you because I did that. I did that for 15 years as a married mom. I listened to wisdom and it made me feel better. But what we're doing around here is listening to wisdom and planting it in good soil, being seen, heard, and understood, and giving the report to people who have the map. We're healing relationship brokenness with relationships. Healthy, steadfast, loyal, wise relationships. I want you to know that I'm going to keep telling you about Brave Moms Academy because I would be doing you a disservice to get you excited and feeling good and not transformed. And if you have someone who has the map to healing and wholeness in your life who will talk to you every day, praise the Lord. And if you have people in your life who have walked down this road and they're going to walk with you, see you, love you, reflect to you what is it true about you, who you are, and what you're here to do, I'm so happy. I am not trying to sell you a thing. I am here to see families transform from the inside out, not encouraged and inspired. I know who I am and what I'm here to do. So I'm not going to stop telling you there isn't an invitation for you to Brave Moms Academy. Okay? There is an invitation for you to Brave Moms Academy. We have various levels of support in there in case you need a different level of investment. That will be helpful. And there's also like extreme levels of support, like all the way from like you and I meet 3 days a week, you and I only, or you and your husband and I 3 days a week, all the way down to we meet once a month and you work all the material and you're in a coaching call once a month where you can get one-to-one advice. And then my favorite in the very middle, which is where we meet twice a week as a group and you get one-on-one and you get loved by everybody in the group and you get expert eyes on what's going on. And you can type into our community anytime, any day and say, here's what's happening right now, just so you know what we're going to talk about on the call so I can see it ahead of time. And it's a map process of all these things that you go through one thing at a time. How many of you know when you plant a wisdom seed of truth, some of them need to be planted boom, 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 right on top of each other? Some of them need to be planted and then you need to wait a while to plant another one. That's the kind of stuff we do together. You will know which skill to use at what time. I want you to know that's available to you. Please write me a message if you're interested in learning more. You and I will just have a conversation about what level of support is right for you or whether you need this at all. But I want you to reach out if you recognize I don't just want information. I need a transformation. I don't just want inspiration. I need a transformation, okay? I'm not going to stop telling you that. So if that's okay with you, please keep coming and learning this because you will get so much out of this 30 days, even if that's all you and I ever did together, okay? I love you. I'm excited about tomorrow because we're going to dive even more practical on letting go. What's mine and not mine. I have more analogies for you lined up. I had to pick from like 6 analogies today. I've got more in me on this topic. memorable analogies that are going to stick with you and help you remember in the moment when it's happening. Catch yourself and do something new, okay? I will see you inside Circle. Please make your post today. And I will also post today, right under this video and in Facebook and in the Circle feed, the link so your friends can sign up for the whole challenge. If today impacted you, you tell them, I heard something today that I think is going to change my life. As a mom, a wife, an employee, a minister, and just sign up for this challenge so you can go watch today's video. Can you do that? Send it to someone you're thinking of during this time. Okay, I love you and I'll see you tomorrow, live, 9 a.m. PST. There's not as big of a school run tomorrow, so we should be here at 9 a.m. PST. Okay, thanks for your patience today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, you're so brave.